They tried to destroy my life, but I took everything they had. Welcome to the Payback Vault. This channel is all about the wild and thrilling world of revenge stories. Sometimes, the people you trust most can turn into your worst enemies. This story is about betrayal, revenge, and the unexpected twist of karma that came back with a vengeance. It all takes place in the most unlikely of places, a Walmart warehouse. Let me take you through a wild ride involving shattered trust, drug abuse, a scandalous secret, and the ultimate payback. But before we dive in, I want to ask, what would you do if you found out someone close to you was secretly destroying your life? Comment below, and don't forget to vote at the end of the story. Do you think the revenge was justified, or did things go too far? Part 1, The Perfect Storm. It all started with Jake. Jake and I had been best friends since high school. We'd been through everything together, the fights, the crazy nights, the laughter. So naturally, when we both ended up working at the same Walmart warehouse, it felt like a stroke of fate. We weren't just co-workers, we were practically brothers. Jake had always been a bit reckless, though. He liked to party hard, and over time, his partying had escalated into something more dangerous. He was getting deep into drugs, but I didn't judge him. I believed he could handle it. I mean, he was Jake, the guy who always landed on his feet. Little did I know, his bad habits were about to spiral into something that would change both our lives forever. Part 2, Meeting Sarah. Then came Sarah. She was beautiful, confident, and had an air of mystery about her. She worked at a local nightclub and caught Jake's eye immediately. The two of them started dating, and soon, she became a regular part of our group. At first, everything seemed perfect, but something about Sarah didn't sit right with me. I'd heard rumors, stories about her past, whispers that she'd done some adult work before meeting Jake. I didn't care about her past, but it was her behavior that bothered me. She was manipulative, always in control of Jake, always finding a way to make him feel guilty or ashamed when things didn't go her way. Jake was blinded by her, though. He wouldn't hear a word against Sarah. Every time I tried to bring it up, he'd shut me down, saying I was jealous. Little did I know, she was already driving a wedge between us. Part 3, The Downward Spiral. Jake's drug use got worse after he met Sarah. They started disappearing for days on end, and when they'd come back, they looked strung out. His performance at work tanked. He showed up late, missed shifts, and couldn't keep up with his tasks. I tried to help him. I covered for him at the warehouse, took on extra shifts, and even talked to our boss to keep Jake from getting fired. But the truth was, he didn't care. He was sinking deeper and deeper into a dark hole, and Sarah was right there with him, pulling him down further. One night, I got a call from Jake. He was frantic, high out of his mind, saying something about needing money fast. When I got to his place, I found him in a panic, claiming that Sarah owed money to some dangerous people, and they were coming after him. I knew I shouldn't have helped, but I gave him the cash. After all, he was my best friend. Part 4, The Ultimate Betrayal. A few weeks later, I came into work to find the entire warehouse in chaos. Apparently, a large shipment had gone missing, and no one could explain where it had gone. I didn't think much of it until later that day when I was called into the manager's office. There, sitting in front of me, were two security guards and Jake. My heart dropped. The manager handed me a grainy security photo of someone sneaking out of the warehouse with the stolen goods. The person in the photo looked vaguely like me, but the face wasn't clear. My stomach churned as I realized what was happening. Jake had set me up. He'd used my loyalty to cover his tracks and framed me for the theft. I was fired on the spot. Worse, I was told the police were investigating, and I could face charges. Part 5, The Secret Revealed. Days after I lost my job, I was scrolling through my phone when a message popped up. It was a link to a video, along with the caption, "Thought you should know the truth about Jake and Sarah." My hands shook as I clicked the link. The video was from a very questionable site, and to my shock, there was Sarah, Jake's girlfriend, doing porn. But it wasn't just any adult video. Jake was in it too, clearly out of his mind on drugs, looking like he had no idea what was happening. Turns out, Sarah had been filming adult videos in secret, and Jake had been dragged into it while he was too high to know better. But that wasn't even the worst part. Sarah had been using these videos to pay off her debts, selling Jake's dignity online without his knowledge. It all made sense now. The drugs, the stolen shipment, everything. Sarah was using Jake, and in turn, Jake had used me to cover for his mess. I was furious. They had ruined my life, and now I had nothing left to lose. Part 6. Plotting the Payback. I wasn't going to let them get away with it. I spent the next few days collecting evidence. I had screenshots of the videos, messages from Jake asking me to cover for him, and even some anonymous tips from people who'd seen Jake and Sarah acting shady around the warehouse. I knew exactly how I was going to bring them down. The first thing I did was leak the videos to Jake's family and friends. He had always been the golden boy in his family, someone everyone looked up to. That image was shattered the moment those videos hit their inboxes. Then, I sent a copy of everything I had to our old boss at Walmart, along with an anonymous tip about the missing shipment. The company launched an internal investigation, and within weeks, Jake and Sarah were both arrested for their involvement in the theft. But I wasn't done yet. Part 7. When Karma Hits Hard. The final blow came when I forwarded the videos to the local news. They did a full story on the warehouse theft and the drug-fueled scandal involving Jake and Sarah. It became the talk of the town. Jake was humiliated, and Sarah's shady past was exposed for everyone to see. Their reputations were destroyed. Jake lost everything: his job, his friends, even his family. And Sarah? She disappeared. Rumor has it she fled town, unable to face the fallout from the scandal. As for me, I may have lost my job at Walmart, but I came out on top. The police eventually cleared me of any wrongdoing, and with my name cleared, I started fresh, in a new job, with a sense of satisfaction that justice had been served. Conclusion. In the end, they thought they had me cornered. They thought they could ruin my life and get away with it. But karma has a funny way of working things out. Jake and Sarah paid the price for their betrayal, and I walked away with my dignity intact. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think the revenge was justified, or did things go too far? What would you have done differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you think karma was served, don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to hear this story.